Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode in our AEW What If series in TEW2020. If you have not watched the previous episodes, you should definitely go back and watch them as they kind of helped form the series that we're at now. We are officially opening up this video with our first Dynamite show. Now, we are going to have two Dynamites on this video. You're going to be able to see the first and second ever Dynamite episodes, or video episodes, basically. Yeah, that's how that works. You're able to see those in this video, and we're going to go from there. So we're going to dive into the action. We open up Dynamite in front of 3,296 people at the DB Mile Field. For some reason, Daly's Place and TIAA Arena are not in this mod. I don't know why, but they're not. So we're going to run the DB Mile Field. But Cody Rhodes comes to the ring, opens up Dynamite, thanks everyone for coming out. Says that he knows that there's going to be a great show here tonight on Dynamite, and that he also knows that it's going to be a really great main event because he's in the main event, as he's going to be taking on the Inner Circle's Jake Hager as the first ever main event of Dynamite. And he kind of talks about Jake Hager, kind of talks a little bit about the history that they have and how he plans to get a victory here on this show. This show officially will start the win-loss records, but I probably won't advertise. I probably won't actually show them on screen for a couple of weeks or a couple of episodes over, just because I want to get them built up a little bit before I really start going with them with the rankings and whatnot. So we are going to be doing the win-loss records with this first Dynamite, but probably won't be seeing rankings for a month or so, and we'll go from there. But anyway, 67 rating for Cody's promo to start off the show. Then we get Andrea Campo. She interviews Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. This only gets an 18 because not much popularity or entertainment skill here, but Baker kind of talks about how everybody in due time, it may take a little bit, but everybody in due time will show the respect to Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, that she deserves. So kind of a little promo, just kind of hyping her up a little bit, kind of potentially showing, predicting the future there by saying that eventually people will show her the respect she deserves. Our first match in Dynamite history is a match that goes 9:51 and features Chris Jericho defeating Chuck Taylor by pinfall. 63 rated for the match, 65 from Jericho, 47 from Chuck Taylor. Really good opening contest to start off the Dynamite era of our AEW. Jericho with a back and forth contest with Chuck Taylor, but is able to get the victory. Chuck Taylor actually looked pretty decent in this matchup, was actually able to kind of go toe to toe with Jericho at times. But at the end of the day, Jericho was just too much for him. Afterwards, the Inner Circle hit the ring to attack Chuck Taylor, but Orange Cassidy and Trent come running in to save their stablemate and chase him off. Gets a 33. Got to build up a lot of people's popularity, so I'm going to have to slowly do it by segments like this. But Orange Cassidy and Trent coming to the aid of their best friend's mate, Chuck Taylor, fighting off the Inner Circle. Seems like there may be some issues between best friends and the Inner Circle here in AEW. After that, we have an opening contest, or not an opening contest, that is a women's division match that features the Bunny defeat Riho in 9:43 by pinfall with a cherry popper. Probably need to change the name of that. Gets 44 rating, 42 from the Bunny, 32 from Riho. You'll notice something there. You'll notice that somebody made their debut. Bunny came down to the ring, and then Riho came out with the debuting Mickie James. Mickie James is here in AEW. Now, unfortunately, Mickie James here in 2018 in this save decided to retire. So she's no longer an in-ring competitor. She is retired, but I still decided to bring her in anyway because I have plans for her as a manager. So she is managing Riho in this matchup. Whether that's a permanent pairing or not, I'm not sure. Or the AEW world is not sure, but she's managing Riho here tonight, and unfortunately, Mickie James being in Riho's corner is not enough for her to get the job done against the Dark Order's Bunny, who is able to get the victory in a 44-ring matchup. After this, this segment is not, they're not actually hanging out, but so Tenille Dashwood is walking backstage. She has a match coming up next. She has a match coming up later in the show. And so she's walking through the backstage area when Priscilla Kelly approaches her and says that she's so glad to be in the same company as someone like Tenille Dashwood. She kind of looked up to her coming up. She kind of looked up to her and saw her success in other places and knew that she was someone who she wanted to kind of not idolize, but she was someone who she wanted to kind of looked up to as somebody who helped her get into wrestling and all that. Like, it was kind of because of Tenille that she got into wrestling. And Tenille's just kind of like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, glad to meet somebody who's a fan, and is nice about it, but says that she's got to go because she's out of the match. So Priscilla's like, yeah, that's fine. And Dashwood walks off, and Priscilla's face kind of turns from one of like a fan to more of like this kind of creepy smirk on her face. We're not sure what's going on with that, but nevertheless, kind of a weird little interaction between Tenille Dashwood and Priscilla Kelly backstage in AEW. And then, I guess the match was next. I forgot it. I moved things around a little bit, so I couldn't remember if it was up next or not. But said match takes place with Tenille Dashwood, and she is able to pick up a victory over Ivelisse in 904 by pinfall with a Michinoku driver number 2. 46 rating for the match, 45 from Dashwood, 35 from Ivelisse, who seemed off her game. Nice little contest in the women's division, and Dashwood is able to pick up the victory. So, cool stuff there. Then after that, I did disorganize things a little bit because this was actually supposed to be after the Riho Bunny match, but whatever. Andrew Ocampo is standing on the stage and talks to Mickie James, who says that Mickie says that she's here in AEW because she knows that a lot of very talented females are in the backstage area right now, and she looks forward to being a part of it, even though she's retired from an in-ring standpoint. She looks forward to being a part of it, helping them out, teaching them her ways, and as maybe a select few actually getting to actually managing them and watching them rise here in AEW, watching their success happen here in AEW. So a little promo there that basically just kind of explains that she's here to kind of provide wisdom to the women's division and potentially manage one or multiple women here in the company. So we'll have to see how that plays out. After that, tag team matchup happens, and the Dark Order's Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are able to pick up the victory over the Thrill Seekers, Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee. Grayson pinned Everett with a fatality in 10:46, 42 rating for the match. Pretty good ratings there. Evil Uno was the weakest link of them all, only had a 38. Everett seemed off his game, only had a 45. Pretty good tag team matchup here. Just under 11 minutes, and a really good back and forth matchup that the Dark Order were able to get the victory in. After that, Ashley Lane has a promo before she has a match here tonight. She says that no one honestly cares about Io Shirai being here in AEW. Of course, remember Io Shirai was introduced to AEW at Double or Nothing. Lane says that she's the queen of AEW and she deserves the attention, not some nobody from halfway around the world. So everyone in AEW needs to pay attention to the queen and not some supposed sky genius. So kind of taking shots at Io Shirai before Io's really able to do much here in AEW so far. And then after that, this match did not do that great. Little Heat Embarrassing Wrestling. Ashley Lane defeated Zoe Sky in 8:48 by pinfall to running Big Boot. 26 rating, 33 from Lane, 23 from Sky. They don't click at all, so that sucks. Crowd also didn't, they're both unimportant status, but that's what it is. So I cooled the crowd a little bit, but that's all right. We'll get them back as the show goes on. But Ashley Lane able to get the victory in a Zoe Sky had some offense in this match, but it was mostly dominated by Ashley Lane. After that, the Young Bucks cut a promo talking about how hyped they are about being here on Dynamite. They may not be in action tonight, but they're hyped to have this weekly show now, and they're excited to see what tag teams decide to show up here in AEW, even though everybody knows the Young Bucks are the top tag team in professional wrestling. 52 rating for the promo. Not too bad there. Just a generic little promo from the Young Bucks. Then after that, in about the head subpar wrestling Little Heat, the Lucha Brothers defeated Bear Country in 8:45 when Penta El Zero M submitted Bear Boulder with a sacrifice. 58 rating for the match. 33 from both members of Bear Country, 64 from Phoenix, and 66 from Penta. For some reason Bear Country doesn't work well as a team. I'm going to be editing that. I usually don't edit chemistry at all, but I'm going to be editing that one because I actually want to keep them together as a tag team for a while. I'm not a huge, it's not like I'm a huge fan of the tag team, but I feel like they'd be a pretty serviceable tag team here in AEW, so I'm going to keep them as a team, and so I'll edit that. Obviously, I'm not going to edit it to be great chemistry because I'm not going to cheat like that, but I'm just going to edit to normal chemistry. That's usually what I do when I have any issues like that. But yeah, Lucha Brothers able to defeat Bear Country, and Lucha Brothers looking strong. As it's kind of ironic that this match happened right after the Young Bucks promo where they're talking about being the top tag team in the wrestling and looking forward to all the teams coming here to AEW, and then the Lucha Brothers go out there and have a match. So, I mean, it, may at some point in time have something between Lucha Brothers and Bear Country. We'll have to see, but for now, or not Lucha Countries, not Lucha Brothers and Bear Country, but Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks. But for now, the Lucha Brothers getting a victory here on Dynamite. Then after that, Austin Creed is walking backstage when Kenny Omega approaches him. Of course, if you remember, Austin Creed at Double or Nothing made a surprise debut here in AEW by coming to help out Kenny Omega against the three-man attack of SCU. Omega questions why Austin helped him at Double or Nothing, but before Creed can answer, SCU shows up. Christopher Daniels sends a hand to Creed to welcome, and he's like, you know what? I've appreciated what you've done in the wrestling business. We were kind of in the same locker room for a little while at a different company, kind of referring to TNA, and he says that I'm glad to see you here in AEW. I'm glad to see what you bring to the table here. But it turns out to be a little bit of a swerve because Kazarian and Sky jump Creed and Omega with Daniels joining in on the attack, and the three men leave Creed and Omega being down in the backstage area. So SCU able to get one over on Creed and Omega here. And then in our main event, 69, nice. 69 rated matchup. Cody Rhodes defeats Jake Hager in 11:53 by pinfall with a beautiful disaster. 69 rating for the match, 66 from Cody, 58 from Jake Hager. A good rating for the main event, for the first main event of Dynamite. Good stuff there. Hager and Rhodes going back and forth in this contest, but Cody was able to get the victory. However, the show does not end with Cody celebrating, because as Cody goes to celebrate the victory, he gets jumped from behind by the Machine, Brian Cage. Cage runs in and attacks Rhodes, leaving him laid out on the mat. And the first episode of Dynamite ends with Cody hurt and on the canvas. The show gets a 64 rating, increasing popularity everywhere. Good stuff there. Good stuff there. So, that is going to do it for this first one. And in just a second, we will see you for episode number 2 of Dynamite. And we are back with our second episode of Dynamite. We open up in front of 3,211 people with the Young Bucks defeating the Prisoners of War in 1240 when Nick Jackson pins Steve Maclin with a Meltzer driver. 62 rating for the match. Good way to start off the show. Weston Blake with a 44, Maclin with a 39. The Young Bucks both with 64s. Prisoner of War is another tag team we're going to be using here in AEW. Looking forward to kind of using them, seeing how they work out. They're kind of badass gimmicks right now. Macklin's got a little bit of charisma boost for his gimmick, but they put up a fight, but the Young Bucks are able to get the victory here tonight as it gets promoted that the main event for this evening's Dynamite will be Austin Creed going one-on-one with a member of SCU, Frankie Kazarian. So that should be a pretty good main event match here on Dynamite. After that, we have a promo we get an interview from Jay Lethal. Not sure why I did this bad, but whatever. But Lethal is not happy. He's not happy about the fact that he was not featured on the first ever Dynamite last week. He feels like it is a slap in the face to somebody as talented and as generationally skilled as Jay Lethal, and says that that everybody keeps talking about AEW being the future around here, but they need to pay respect to the present as well, because Jay Lethal is the present and future of professional wrestling. Strong words there from Lethal. After that, we have another debut. We're having just a bunch of debuts recently here at AEW. Obviously, as we have the weekly shows starting to form, we're going to have a lot more talent showing up. And in about the Subpar Wrestling Little Heat in 954, Kaylee Ray defeats the debuting Angel Williams. Angel Williams is here, and she's actually associated with Ashley Lane. In fact, Ashley Lane was at ringside managing Angel Williams in this, so, kind of unofficially the beautiful people. They're here, so this gets a 40, though. Mainly just because of the fact that the crowd didn't like the fact that they're both unimportant. I don't care at this point. We're going to get them boosted up. I mean, Kaylee Ray with a 52 in-ring performance, Angel Williams with a 42, so clearly once they get that popularity, they're going to be a good group here. Get a marketable gimmick, so that's good for her sex symbol gimmick. Basically as close as I could find to her beautiful people gimmick, really. But Angel Williams does not take the fact that she just lost her debut lying down. She's not happy about it. Her and Ashley Lane jump Kaylee Ray after the match until Io Shirai comes running out to make the save. The segment only went like 4 minutes, but whatever. But Io Shirai comes running in to fight off Angel Williams and Ashley Lane, saving Kaylee Ray from a serious beating. Looking like we're going to have a little bit of I don't know necessarily what's going to happen there. I mean, Angel Williams and Ashley Lane, obviously they know each other really well, so maybe Io and Kaylee have to kind of decide to kind of pair up and take care of these two. Who knows? But we'll have to see how that plays out in the future. But Io Shirai coming to the save here after Ashley Lane called her out last week on Dynamite. Then after that, we get a promo from the Dark Order. Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, the Bunny, Rosemary, and the Blade. They're cutting a promo when suddenly they stop talking after they hear kind of a voice or kind of a clearing of a throat. Really, they kind of stop talking, and then walking in between them all to step forward in front of, or kind of right, kind of splitting the 5 of them, is none other than Tommy End. Tommy End is here in AEW. and he says that the Dark Order are going to take over All Elite Wrestling. So it looks like Tommy End is a part of the Dark Order. It does kind of get revealed with this that he actually is the leader of the group. So Uno, Grayson, Bunny, Rosemary, Blade, and Tommy End is the sixth member of the Dark Order. So it's going to be a very intriguing Dark Order here. Tommy End, obviously, he when we were able to get him away from NXT when his contract was up over, he hadn't made up to the main roster yet over, but he's, he was starting to get popularity in America, and it's going to be interesting to see how he works with this group. I mean, this is a potentially very dangerous group of 6 here, and we'll have to see how that plays out. But we do get a member of the Dark Order in action up next here, as Tommy End's mysterious gimmick just penalized for losing to a comedy. But we do get one of the members of the Dark Order in action up next, as in a match that gets a 34 rating. The Blade defeats Kevin Koo in 9:42 by pinfall to Flatliner. Kevin Koo is not under contract with AEW. He was just brought in as a local talent to have the Blade go over. Not that we don't have enough people on the roster right now to put him over, but after I booked all the other matches, I wanted to get the Blade a match, but I didn't want him to go over the remaining faces who weren't booked. And, this was kind of more of a, not quite a dominant victory, but it was a decisive victory. Like, it was one of those, he clearly got the victory, and so the other ones I didn't really want to put that much of a stance with. So brought Kevin Koo in to get to lose to the Blade, who picks up the victory 9:42 by pinfall with a Flatliner. 34 rating for the match. Yeah, that's going to continue to happen until we get boost popularity up, but a 51 in-ring performance is pretty good. So we definitely are, definitely may have to try to get the Blade more popular as well, so that way he can actually start having pretty good matches with other people as well. Then after that, Andrea Ocampo is, I got to change this so it doesn't constantly keep saying standing on the stage. She's actually backstage for this one, and she introduces Hangman Page, who is interviewed about looking to the future here in AEW, how he doesn't want to use his connections he had with the Elite to get any sort of favoritism around here, that he wants to earn his spot here. He earned his spot in ROH, he earned his spot in New Japan, and he wants to earn his spot here in All Elite Wrestling. Says he's not really going to associate himself with the Elite here, as he wants to earn his spot and do what it takes to get that. So 19 rating, because not really super popular or super charismatic right now, or super high entertainment skills I meant, but not too bad. We'll get it built up. Then after that, Darby Allin defeats the debuting Marty Martinez in 9:26 by submission. I don't know what submission he knows, but Marty Martinez is here in AEW as well. Of course, for those who watched Lucha Underground, he was Marty the Moth. He is going to be wrestling here in AEW as well, but Darby Allin is able to pick up the victory over him in 9:26. Only gets 25. Darby Allin actually underperformed compared to Marty Martinez, so that's something. But yeah, nice back and forth match here that sees a victory for Darby Allin. Martinez will be penalized for being used in lengthy angles. I'll deal with it. That's not too bad, I guess. But 25 rating there. Darby able to pick up a victory here on Dynamite. Penelope Ford comes out, and she says that she's so good that she can't be defeated by anyone. Not really, but essentially this promo bit here is that she's seeing all the talent coming here to AEW, and she wants to call somebody out for a match. She says that she wants to have a match here tonight and prove that she can go with the best of them, and that she could defeat anyone in professional wrestling. Anyone in professional wrestling, she dares them to step up and face her here tonight. The lights go out. Some very interesting music plays, some kind of tinkling sound of sorts. And then a name appears on the screen that gets the crowd going crazy, because it is none other Then Alexis Kaufman, the former Alexa Bliss, is here in AEW. She is taking up the open challenge that has been issued. Penelope Ford can't believe it and freaks out about this. A great rating for Kaufman's troublemaker gimmick. Think kind of the essentially kind of her face Alexa Bliss gimmick, where she's kind of like the cocky face character. So, but she is here in AEW as well. She was someone whose contract was up in WWE and someone who I definitely wanted to bring here. Now, as I mentioned in this series, I had a select list of people I wanted to get from WWE, and when they became available, I wanted to get them, but there's not going to be a whole lot. In fact, most of the people on that list that I have, I've already gotten at this point, and I think a couple of them I actually let WWE renew the contracts of, so I could come back to them at a later time. So you're not really going to be seeing a lot other debuts from former WWE talent. It was just a select group that I was like, I really want to get them because they would be really good in what I had planned for the company. So Alexis Kaufman is one of them. I thought about changing her name to something else other than her real name, but I just decided to run with it. We'll go with that and see how that plays out. So Alexis Kaufman is here. Although honestly, I might just change, or I might just drop her last name most of the time and just call her Alexis. Might be kind of what I do, but nevertheless, she is here in AEW, and in a 35 rated matchup, she gets the victory over Penelope Ford in a 42 by pinfall with a Sparkle Splash. Gonna have to change the name of that, but 35 rating for that as Alexis gets the victory. Not sure why it cooled the crowd a little. Alexis has enough popularity that it should be better than that, but whatever. Nevertheless, she gets the victory here in her AEW debut. She's going to be a talent to look out for here in the women's division in AEW for sure. I mean, there's definitely a chance of her being kind of one of the, I don't want to say one of the faces of the division, but she's definitely going to be a top star in the division for sure. So we'll have to see how that plays out for her. Then after that, we get man, everything's just cool in the crowd right now. The crowd's just dumping on this show. Apparently, we get a quick promo from the Best Friends, who are cutting a promo about the Inner Circle. They say that they can try to jump people all they want, but the Best Friends are better friends than the Inner Circle could ever hope to be, and that at any point in time they have no problem taking them on in 6-man tag team action and showing that the Best Friends are better than the Inner Circle. Then, in a 49 rated matchup, Brian Cage, after his attack last week on Cody Rhodes, gets a victory over the debuting Shane Strickland in 10:03 by pinfall to Drill Claw. Technically not a former WWE debut because Shane Strickland at this point was not part of WWE. He was working for Lucha Underground when we took him away. I wanted to bring him in and kind of build him up from here. But he takes the loss to Brian Cage in 10:03 by pinfall to Drill Claw, in kind of a little bit of a interesting little nod to Lucha Underground because, obviously these two men both working for that company at one point in time. 49 rated for the match though, 59 from Cage, 41 from Shane Strickland, who debuts his show stealer gimmick to a great rating. Can be penalized for losing to a gimmicky or cartoonish gimmick, which is fine because there's not really a whole lot of them in AEW right now. But Brian Cage is able to get the victory over Shane Strickland. Then we move on. Austin Creed kind of has a promo about his main event matchup against Frankie Kazarian. Omega actually joins him and says that he knows that Kazarian is going to have backup out there tonight. He has no problem watching Creed's back this one time to make sure that SCU doesn't get involved in the matchup. So a little bit of a uneasy partnership between these two men. And then the main event in a 51 rating, probably because that crowd is kind of beat up at this point. Yeah, it's down to a dead crowd. In a decent matchup, Frankie Kazarian defeats Austin Creed in 14:33 by pinfall to Back to the Future. 51 rating for the match. 56 from Kazarian, 49 from Austin Creed, as the storyline gains heat with that. So Kaz is able to get a clean victory over Creed. We'll have to see where that leads with this storyline heading forward, but 51 rating's not too bad for our main event. Could have been better if the crowd wasn't dead, but, I'll take it. I will still take it. Show gets a 49. We lost a little bit of popularity in the Southeast. That's fine. We still gained popularity everywhere else, so I will take that for sure. I'm going to have to work on cutting a little bit of time off of these, however, if I'm going to do these joint together, because I'm running a little over 15 minutes on both, or on both of them so far, but nevertheless, two strong Dynamites. Yeah, the 49 for the second show wasn't the greatest, but I'll still take it. It was still a pretty good performance from AEW, as we have a lot of talent that needs to kind of gain some popularity, and then we're really going to be hitting it off. I mean, you see a lot of those in-ring performances that are really good performances that, as a few months of time goes on and they get featured on TV and get that popularity more, they're going to be bigger names for sure. They for sure will gain that popularity and be bigger names for sure. I'm just waiting for this to process everything real quick because I do want to show something. I didn't get a chance to show it after the first Dynamite because I wasn't fully aware of it, but we did set ourselves up to actually have the Wednesday Night Wars with NXT, so we actually are going head-to-head with NXT in this, so we'll kind of look really briefly at the rating, at the ratings between NXT and Dynamite, which this week Dynamite lost in the ratings to NXT. It was actually the same last week too. There was more viewers for NXT than there was for Dynamite, but we're a brand new company that is just having our second weekly show ever, and NXT has obviously got WWE in their back pocket. So the fact that it's already this close, both in rating wise and in viewer wise, is pretty good for us. So I'm not going to complain too much about that. And as you've seen in the WCW save, it's not like I can't make a comeback, make a jump from behind to get in the lead. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But thank you all for watching. Definitely appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the double Dynamite episode like this. Let me know if you do, or if you'd rather prefer seeing individual videos with just one Dynamite on a piece. The individual ones, because kind of the idea of the series is that's probably going to be doing one video every other week or something like that. So I kind of didn't want to do just one episode of Dynamite on each video, because then you guys are it's going to wait even longer for it. But for the time being, with some of the other stuff I've got going on, this may be more of like an every other week kind of thing. So I wanted to make sure I got two shows in on the same video. So hopefully you all enjoy, and we will catch you in the next video.